What is going on, X Factor Nation? I have an exciting video for you guys today. I'm starting a new series. I am obsessed with college basketball and high school basketball and recruiting in general. And we're doing a series called Flourish and Fail. So we're gonna just do a casual dive into certain recruiting classes over on 24/7 Sports, and we're just gonna just have some fun and talk about guys that flourished and guys who failed. Just kind of just have some fun with it. I remember a lot of these guys in high school and in college. 2013, 2014, 2015 was kind of when I started getting into it because I was kind of old enough to understand. I'll definitely do some older ones as well. But I just kind of just stumbled on 2013. I thought 2013 had some interesting guys. So I'm really going to focus on the top 25 of this class. I'm definitely not going to talk too much on guys I don't really know what happened to them or don't really remember them in college. Just no point in faking it. But yeah, so if we just take a dive in the top 50, a guy who just immediately pops out at 48 is Christian Wood, committed to UNLV. I don't really remember much about Christian Wood at UNLV, but I mean we see what he's turned into in the league. He kind of didn't really hear from him when he first got into the league, but got to Houston and really made a name for himself, and now he's playing really good basketball right now for Dallas. So shouts out to Christian Wood. Next, just a couple guys that I wanted to highlight. Xavier Rathan Mays, I thought had a really good career at Florida State. Just a guard that could score really fast. Didn't really turn out in the league, but he put together a nice little college career. Derek Walton, as you all can see here, point guard from Michigan, had a nice little career doing some good things in the G League. But yeah, so we just some guys like Demetrius Jackson was pretty good at Notre Dame. Nigel Williams, Goss, he started a career at Washington, ended up at Gonzaga where he, had a decent career at Gonzaga. But before we get to the top 25, there's, some big names you can see, not just, pro wise, of course, with Terry Rozier there, but Darius Thornwell, man, led his team from Oak Hill. Had a really good career at Oak Hill, and he committed to South Carolina, where South Carolina had a crazy run to make it to the Final Four. Terry Rozier, as a Kentucky fan, I saw a lot of this guy at Louisville, got on my nerves. He started out in Boston, had a pretty good career, start there. Now he's in Charlotte doing some really good things. So shout out to him. Simeon Lojale started his career at Duke, then he transferred to SMU, where he definitely found his footing. He's in Boston, absolutely ripped. Dude's absolutely jacked. But so shouts out to him. But it's just again just really cool checking out some of these guys. At 25, man, Anthony Cat Barber. I don't know if you guys remember him at North Carolina State, but this dude was nice. A small guard, 6'1", 160. As you can see, he definitely put on weight in college, but he was always that you knew that guy was going to be a really good college player and not really, pan out in the NBA, but still really fun to watch in college. I remember him. Of course, I'm sure he's making a killing overseas. Next out, we have Jermaine Lawrence. I'm going to be honest, don't know too much about this kid. Don't really remember him in Cincinnati, but I'm sure he did wonderful things. Tyler Ennis over at Syracuse. Syracuse was really good in 2014. Tyler Ennis was a really good point guard for them. Didn't really pan out in the NBA. He had a couple stints here and there. I remember him on the Lakers, but really good at Syracuse. I mean, just absolutely crushed it. Led some really good teams. I remember him, Rakeem Christmas, just a couple of those guys. Austin Nichols, another guy, just not too read up on. Jabari Bird at 21 here. Went to Cal. He was a second round pick in the NBA. He was gross at Cal. Bigger than he looked, in my opinion. He's listed at 6'6", 190, but he definitely put on weight and grew. I think he even started playing a little bit of forward over at Cal. At 20, we got Robert Hubbs. Went to Tennessee, rival of Kentucky. Again, just another guy that didn't really hear much about. Isaac Hamilton, St. John Bosco, big school in Los Angeles, known for their football, but again, another guy just not too read up on here. Number 18, Kentucky commit, Marcus Lee. Went to Deer Valley in Cali. Volleyball player, dude's an absolute freak. He's 6'9", 215 coming out. wasn't the most, stat punch guy at Kentucky, but he did a lot of really good things. Just kind of a rim running, he'll block his shot big. I remember him in the Elite Eight against Michigan. Dude just went nuts. He was put back dunking everything. So definitely a huge fan of Marcus Lee. Number 17, you see Bobby Portis. Absolute got on my nerves at Arkansas, another SEC school. This dude was nice at Arkansas. Kind of just a back to the basket big. He's 6'10, 225 coming out from Little Rock, Arkansas. So he stayed home, homegrown kid. And you see what he's turned into for the Milwaukee Bucks, man. He's one of the better bench pieces in the league. He does a lot of really, really good things for Milwaukee. And I just think he's a key ingredient for them. And I think he definitely makes that team, I wouldn't say go, but he definitely, helps that team be better. Isaiah Hicks for North Carolina didn't have a too crazy good of an NBA career, but I remember him in North Carolina being really tough, another homegrown kid from North Carolina. At number 15, I remember watching Rondé Hollis Jefferson highlights in high school. Dude was tough from Chester, Pennsylvania. Went to Arizona, just another really, really long wing. Kind of this is like the movement of long athletic wings. Just couldn't really shoot well. He's a lefty, but couldn't find a shot in the NBA. He did a lot of really good things in college, but I think he was a top pick. Just couldn't really put it together. Number 14, you see it. Probably the best center in the league. Him and Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid from the Rock School in Gainesville, Florida. Um, Went to Kansas, really skinny, but you could see flashes. He's still new to the game. He didn't start playing basketball until later in his life, but I mean, we see what he's turned into. He was listed at 7 foot 245 coming out, and he's an absolute freak. His footwork, Jay Billis was comparing him to, Hakeem Olajuwon coming out. So I mean, high praise there. Number 13, pretty boy Wayne Selden. Didn't have a good, NBA career, but dude was nasty at Kansas. Kansas had a great team, and Wayne Selden was just a scoring guard. Man was tough. He'll punch on you. He had a really decorated college career. Just couldn't find his footing in the NBA. Jerome Martin, another long wing at LSU. Again, just another guy I remember just purely off playing at LSU, watching him play Kentucky, but didn't really, hear too much about him after that. But good for Jerome Martin. Getting close to the top 10 here as we go to number 11 with Noah Vonleh. Noah Vonleh was really good at Indiana. He was a top pick coming out. Hasn't really found his footing. He kind of a mid-range guy. He kind of tried to step out, be a stretch big. Just hasn't been very good in his NBA career. I thought he would be a lot better, but just hasn't done it. Number 10, we got Dakari Johnson, man. Dakari Johnson, coming out of Montverde Academy, one of the best, high school programs in the country. He's a top 10 kid. He kind of got, thrown to the wolves, if you will, by Kentucky fans. Being a top 10 recruit in this really, really good recruiting class for Kentucky. He did a lot of good things. He was kind of slow. He was 6'10", 250 as a freshman, but you could see the flashes. And he didn't have a really big career in the NBA, a couple stints here and there. He played really well in the G League. He made a G League, like all NBA or G League first team, whatever it was. But all love for Dakari. Another guy who was a top pick, first round pick, went to Kentucky, James Young. Just another guy that just couldn't figure it out in the NBA, couldn't find his footing, couldn't find a consistent shot. But at Kentucky, man, James Young was tough, man. He, in the national championship, because Kentucky went to the national championship this year, as an 8 seed, just came in and absolutely punched on UConn in the championship game. That was he dunked on like 4 dudes. If you haven't seen it, go watch the clip. Just type in James Young baptizes UConn and you'll see it. Number 8, Casey Hill. This is like when Florida was still rolling. Billy Donovan had the boys playing. Casey Hill was a really shifty, small point guard. Did a lot of really good things. Another kid from Montverde, just really fast. Another guy who's a highlight machine, in high school. You just look up his mixtape. It's gross. Chris Walker, another big guy for Florida that just had a really good college career, him and Casey Hill together. Just another guy that just didn't pan out. Aaron Harrison at 6 and Andrew Harrison at 5. We'll talk about the twins together. Coming out, I was super excited for these kids. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to have the twin connection. It's unreal. And they did. They get a lot of hate. But what Aaron Harrison did in the tournament hitting a gamer in the Elite Eight, the Final Four, and then like the dude just did everything in that tournament. Hit one against Michigan, hit one against Louisville, hit one against Wisconsin. Like they kept giving him the ball and he kept making plays. It was insane. Andrew Harrison, kind of had the better career out of the two in the NBA, but um, didn't really didn't really pan out in the NBA. They had a really good college career. Again, they get a lot of hate from Kentucky fans, but I think they were awesome here. At number 4, we have Jabari Parker, lottery pick. You saw him go really high in the draft. As a freshman, had a really good career at Duke. I believe they lost pretty early. I think they lost in round 64. This might have been the Mercer year. Um, just couldn't really find. He's still trying to find his foot in the NBA. Just I don't know if his game just it didn't translate. He's bad. He's had some bad injuries. Just not the best for Jabari Parker. But these next three, all three, flourished. Jabari Parker, we could look at it as a failure. Andrew Harrison, Aaron Harrison, failure. Chris Walker, Casey Hill, failure. James Young, Dakari Johnson, failure. Noah Vonleh, failure. Dwayne Seldom, Joel Embiid, failure. Rondé Holland. There's a lot of failures. We got Bobby Portis with a flourish. Samuel Ojale. Wouldn't say he's the most flourished, but he's carved out a nice little career. Terry Rozier, flourish. Just some random guys throughout here. I remember Jordan Mickey at LSU, dude. He got on my nerves too. He was nice. And then Christian Ward definitely flourished. But we're talking about Aaron Gordon, who coming out of Arizona, man, that athletic kind of Blake Griffin mold. Couldn't really shoot, but he was just stupid athletic. Just had that stupid athleticism. I really liked him in Arizona. Obviously a lottery pick. And now he's on Denver, man, and he is having an awesome, awesome year. I'm really happy for the guy. I think he can add a really good spark to a lot of teams. And, he didn't have the best, career start in Orlando, but he's found a great situation in Denver and he's flourished. And Julius Randle, absolute beast in Kentucky. I mean, we just threw it to him in the post, let him work, let him do his thing. He's transformed his game. He can handle it. He can shoot the three now. Preston Wood Christian, he was another guy, and with Aaron Gordon coming out of San Jose, and Jabari Parker, Simeon, all three really good high school players. You want to watch their mixtapes, go for it. This is the mixtape era. Mixtape started coming out, started with John Wall in 09, and it just kept going and going. Don't really see it much anymore, but new day and age, whatever. Number 1, they called him Maple Jordan. They thought this guy was the second coming. As you can see, perfect 24/7 rating. Number 1 ranked player in the nation. Andrew Wiggins, Huntington Prep, Huntington, West Virginia, another powerhouse high school program. Dude chewed at Kansas. I mean, he was the consistent number 1 pick, went to the Timberwolves, did okay, and then he was part of that. Just it didn't work out, man. Just plain and simple. Wasn't a good fit there. It was a Golden State. Wow. Won him a championship. Had a great season last year. Kind of a slower start this year, but still just shows he is just comfortable in that system. So, I mean, if you're talking about, a guy who flourished the most out of this class, I mean, it's going to be Andrew Wiggins. I love his game. We can take a look throughout the whole class. It's highlighted by Andrew Wiggins. He was the prize recruit, ended up at Kansas, played well at Kansas, worked his way to the number 1 pick, and he flourished. And it didn't look like he was at first, but man, I'm glad he turned it around. He did his thing, and I'm really happy for him. So, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this draft class, recruiting class, Flourish and Fail. Don't forget to like it up, comment it up. If you guys have somebody I'm missing, maybe, or if you want to talk about a recruit, or if you have a class that you want me to hit next, let me know. But yeah, guys, don't forget to like it, subscribe it, comment it up. Don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Change the game. Be an X Factor. We'll see you guys next time. God bless. And peace out.